on Florida State and Miami the whole time.
Terrence, who has the most upside? You look at this, and quite frankly, fellas, I've been very impressed with the Miami gunslinger, Tyler Van Dyke. He is playing, I love his pocket presence. He's got a strong arm. Jordan Travis on the other side didn't play last week. So, Terrence, in your mind, what program is ascending or has the potential to ascend the highest as of right now?
I feel like they just only really thing I can go by of is just like the standard that they both hold. I think both teams definitely got a lot of work to do still. And not saying that they're bad, but you're used to seeing a certain type of football from those programs. Everyone else, you can kind of like it's up and down. But when you see those games or you hear the Florida States, the Miamis, the Gators, I mean, you kind of think of a certain standard of how they play football and what they're all about. As for the upside, I mean, it's as far as they want to take it. I mean, I know from being in the NFL this long that a lot of things, and if I could go back and kind of tell my younger self stuff or those guys around me, it's just like the attention to detail. I mean, I watch all the games and things, and I can see so many mistakes and little things here and there that they can clean up to be a really good team. And, I mean, also I feel like the more guys kind of just play for each other and focus in on that, and kind of, leave the social media world alone and just get back to playing real good football, I feel like both teams can be really good. I mean, I'm sure at some point the recruiting is going to get higher on both sides and bring in some more players, and sky's the limit for both sides.
Steve, you have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to say for Dave, going back to your days of playing and
he's actually a broadcaster.
Right. I was always the announcer. It was better for me that way.
Okay, I'm here for you, but it's probably more for Terrence than going back to your days of playing football. How has the game improved for safety toward the players? Because I know back in the day they were starting to get a lot of things with concussions and things like that. So how has it improved for safety for the players?
I might be the wrong guy to ask that one because to me, I mean, like I said before, man, I watched all those games growing up, and like I'm used to that hard-nosed football. Like I want the big hits and the physical play, and kind of now we're getting like you see games now and guys are getting slapped with taunting penalties and things like that just kind of take away from like the physicality of the game. And I understand people want to see touchdowns and big throws, and they want to keep the high-profile quarterbacks in the game and stuff like that, but for me, I'm biased. I just want the game to get back physical again. Right now, I just feel like it's a lot. And don't get me wrong, I'm all about protection. I mean, but at the same time, I mean, it's football, man. You sign up for that type of game and that type of. If you want to play something else, I mean, you got basketball and baseball, but football is a gladiator sport, and that's kind of where I'm at with it. I like it to be like that.
Yeah, I kind of learned that the hard way about 5 years ago. And Chris and I, a friend of ours, were playing football down at the beach, and these three guys approached us and wanted to do 3-on-3 with us. Chris threw me the ball, and I didn't even get a chance to turn around, and I was planted in the sand. And little did I know, after we got done, the guy who took me down was a linebacker for Penn State. So I was like, yeah, that wasn't good.
Yeah. Hey, you know what, guys? We live in such a different era now. And, I was watching the football game last night, and I really want to get your thoughts, guys. It's kind of a tenuous subject, but, Terrence, you brought up the taunting, and, I almost feel like the game is becoming a little too sensitive because, to be politically correct, I think it is because, are you really going to get your feelings hurt if someone's like, celebrating and Dave, if you could kind of lead us off, your thoughts on that. Yeah. It's sometimes because, hey, I'm old enough. I've seen generational football and, flags for that. It just seems a little much, Dave.
It's really funny. And of course you go to the Miami guy to discuss taunting. It figures. I remember when this first became an issue, the NCAA put out a video, and this is probably 20 years ago, And and I didn't see the video. Somebody told me that at least half of it was all stuff done by Miami players.
Yeah,
Which was legendary.
Right.
it is legendary. Yeah,
Standing over guys after the hits, Randall Hill's famous thing up the Cotton Bowl tunnel. And I was at that game, and to hear the Texas media just collectively, whatever you want to say, what was going on. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. So, but I'm confused by what, and I'll tell you this, and Terrence, I don't know if I'm right on this, so please correct me if I'm wrong. Is you think some of this is coming from coaches as much as administrators and officials, that the coaches are worried about this getting out of hand or not?
I don't think it has anything to do with the coaches. I think it's definitely people who are. I can't even explain who would even come up with that rule. To me, I'm totally against it, just because even in last night's game, that's normal. I mean, that's not something that's like, to me, that's just obvious. You just have to do it. It's so disrespectful. Now I get like the, pointing guns and like the sexual gestures and things like that. Like, yeah, we can go tit for tat on that, but like, to me, you just got like that when you play that game, you work so hard all throughout the week just for that one day, and you're passionate about it. You're passionate about your craft. You're passionate about making plays, and like, you just gotta let guys show who they are and their excitement. Now, yeah, I get it. If it's, like I said, if it's really disrespectful, then yeah, we can do something about that. But to change a game off of something of that nature, I just don't see the point in it.
It's funny, guys. We want our players to be emotional. We want them to be invested. We want, as the fans want to see them excited. Yet, so I don't know. I think there's a disconnect between what players and fans want and what administration in college and in the NFL is giving us.
Sure.
I remember I used to do games with the Hall of Famer Tim Brown. Hardly a finer man you'll find anywhere. Just a tremendous human being. The former Notre Dame wide receiver and Raiders and all that. And he said the thing that made him realize what he was in for in college football was playing against Miami. And he went over the middle, and somebody, and I forgot who it was, so this is the 80s now pretty much. So somebody just unloaded on him, and they started in on him immediately right after they hit him. And instead of bothering him, it woke him up. And he went, oh, so this is what's going on. Okay, I see this now. He didn't learn it any other place, but on the field against a hard opponent who just let him go, and he learned from it, and it became a better player because of it once he understood what was going on. I don't know. I'm more immune to it, and basketball's the same way. You're supposed to talk crap in basketball. That's part of the fun. And,
right.
I'm more immune to it, and basketball's the same way. You're supposed to talk crap in basketball. That's part of the fun. And,
right. Dave, you mentioned the emotion, and Kevin, I'll go to you. It's almost like it's such an emotional sport, but when you make that play, you almost have to temper it. What are your thoughts, Kevin?
Well, football is a game of momentum. And, when you look at the rivalry games between Florida State and Miami, there was always a few hits in those games, like Marvin Jones when it came across the middle and he laid the dude out. I mean, that's a momentum changer. Mm-hmm. And today that would be a 15-yard penalty and give the momentum right back to Miami. Mm-hmm. And it's like Terrence said, it's football. we all signed up for it. We all put our pads on the same way. We wear the same equipment, and sometimes you take bad shots. And but I hate the fact that it takes the momentum out of the game. Agree with Terrence again. It has to be clean and TV presentable. But to get up and point your finger at another dude. I mean, that's football. Get up, hit them. It fires everybody up, and it's a game of momentum. And that's what the rivalry is about. That's what football's about.
If I got to add to that, I would just more so say I just feel like it's getting too much of a show for referees. I feel like they want to change the game. They want to make the big call like that and stuff. And it just, I don't know. To me, that one, watching that one last night, kind of hurt me for that dude because now you got coaches down your throat. You got people trying to blame you for losing games or anything in that nature. If it does go that way, and it's just, I don't know. It just kind of makes everyone out there robotic. And
yes,
I just feel like we're always throwing so many new rules and things to protect people and do this and that. And I respected some comments that Tom Brady made a while back about just how we're kind of making the game one-sided. It's more so to, put people in the seats to see touchdowns and things like that. So quarterbacks and receivers aren't really getting penalized with those big hits because you got defenders now scared of every single thing they do just to even make a tackle. And it's that's why I feel like it's more administrative and more people who are just kind of looking outside and who probably don't know just the speed of the game and the emotion of the game. For me, playing DB, when I'm going to take a choice between going for an interception or making a big hit to set the tone of a game, I have to make crazy decisions within a split second just to lower my head the right way or, kind of move this way or that way just to even make a tackle. And it's just you either getting thrown out of games or you're getting slapped with $15,000 fines just for penalties like that. And it's just, I don't know, it just kind of makes the game guys are a little bit more cautious out there. At some point, I feel like we might as well just put on flags at some point. So,
well, I mean, that's a great point. I mean, let's remember what got, the NFL and college football to the multi-billion-dollar industry that it is. It wasn't for running alongside a dude and pulling the flag. People pay to see someone's head get knocked off. And that's what puts seats, butts in the seats. And that's exactly, what we're getting away from.
Exactly.
And I can tell you as an announcer, just reacting to hits now, you don't react the same way. You're almost afraid to. If somebody does come up with a good, solid hit, you first think, is there a flag coming? And, how do I react to this? Because obviously you don't want to see anybody hurt, but at the same time, you, as the actual football players have mentioned, it's a violent game and you come to accept that. And I am old. I'm probably the oldest guy on this panel or close to it. Wink, wink. And, I remember the Dick Butkuses and the Chris Hamburgers and the fact that you could clothesline people. And I'm not saying you go out to deliberately hurt anybody because that you should be punished for. But yeah, I cringe at some of the penalties, like falling on the quarterback is a penalty now.
That's the worst.
I don't understand.
Terrence, I'm with you. I was just gonna say
that's actually that's what you're supposed to do.
It's crazy.
We also had a saying here that every time, going back to Tom Brady, you so much as sneeze in his direction, he wants to penalty for that.
Yeah, but you know what? Brady's okay with that.
Right now,
Tom is great because he actually sticks up for the defensive players and kind of sticks. I mean, just goes out there and kind of lets it be known